In this video, we're going to cover the actual stop. Now, we did a very basic stop, but it is enough for you to understand how a traffic stop is conducted. And it provides some information of what will be expected of you and some questions that the officer is very likely to ask. So it covers the basics and gives you enough that you can practice from this basic stop. I also want to convey that every year millions of traffic stops are conducted. They are uneventful and everyone leaves safely. But it is important for those of you watching to understand from an officer's perspective, in the academy, they are trained to understand that traffic stops are very dangerous. They are actually one of the 2 leading causes of death for an officer. And that typically is because distracted or impaired drivers drift into the zone where they are conducting the stop and people are injured. It does also happen that people ambush officers and shoot them while they are pulling over the vehicle. So if you keep that in mind, understand while you are anxious and you're nervous about the stop, the officer comes to the stop with a certain amount of anxiety as well, a certain awareness, and that they need to protect themselves and be ready for something dangerous to happen. So the best thing you can do to de-escalate that situation for both of you is really try to remain calm. I hope that practicing these videos will help you remain calm and that both you and the officer can handle that situation with less stress involved.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Do you know why I just pulled you over?
I don't.
You ran through the stop sign right back there. I'm gonna need to see your license, registration, and proof of insurance.
Officer, my purse is in the back seat. Can I reach back for that?
Absolutely.
And my registration and proof of insurance is in my glove box. Can I open that?
Certainly. Thank you, ma'am. I'll be right back with these. Here's your information back, ma'am, and I'm going to let you off with just a warning this time.
Thank you, officer. Am I free to go now?
Yes, you are, and thank you for your cooperation.
So to summarize that video, remember, first of all, there are 3 items that you will need for the officer. Second of all, you will want to notify the officer that you need to reach for somewhere in the vehicle for those items prior to reaching for them. Do not make any sudden movements. 3, you may consider at that time telling the officer that you have a disability or some challenge with communication, particularly if you think that your atypical communication will make the officer believe that you are engaging in criminal conduct, such as impaired driving. So again, that's a case-by-case basis, and you'll have to decide if that's something that you're comfortable with and if you want to alert the officer at that time. Finally, do not leave the scene of the traffic stop until you are sure that the stop is over or you have asked the officer if you are free to leave. It's important to remember that the best way to reduce your risk during a traffic stop is to indicate through your own behavior that you are not a threat. You can do that first off by, when you're pulling the vehicle over, turn off the engine so the officer knows you have no concept or idea to flee. Second of all, keep your hands visible. Keep them on the steering wheel until the officer comes to the window, and then ask permission to move about the vehicle to collect your license and insurance. Third, remember, no sudden movements. Try very hard to not make sudden movements, and that most importantly includes don't open the vehicle door or attempt to get out of the vehicle unless the officer has asked you to do so. So those are some pretty basic things that you can think about as you're practicing your road stop, and I hope that helps. And remember, most importantly, millions and millions of stops have occurred in this country with no incident. They've gone smoothly and uneventful, other than getting a ticket. So remember, the odds are with you. These are just some ideas to help your stop go smoothly. So stay tuned for our next video where we're going to cover special driver's license, identifications or IDs through the Department of Licensing, special driving schools, and some information that we hope in the future to be sharing on our Facebook page. So stay tuned.